Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Beacon of Leadership podcast. One of our teammates is not here tonight, so we will do our best to represent him. But Curtis Lee, so I'm RJ Horner, Beacon of Life and Leadership, along with
Linda Tilson, Beacon of Team Empowerment.
And of course, we are missing tonight Curtis Leung, Beacon of Positivity. So we do want to represent him and make sure that he's here in spirit. He's still part of our team. So we are going to just talk tonight about what we have put together, what we're excited to present to you, and we have been working on presenting for people out there, because we are working on the Beacon Awards, and we're excited about this. So we're recognizing people who are shining examples of leadership and dedication to service. So we have now nominated about, I think, 15 or 16 people.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's about 16 people. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to share my screen. And then what we'll do is we'll just run through the nominees so we can, again, just recognize them again. Even though they're not here, they are here with us in spirit. And we'll talk about who these people are and maybe what qualifies them as a beacon of leadership. Let's see if we can make these larger. Oh, so it's got to go downloading one at a time, and then maybe we can put them up in a big screen. Well, maybe we don't need to do that then. But over here, if you look on the right, we have Amit, Beacon of a nominee, Amit Ambigankar. Can you see that okay, or are we just too small to
see it? But it is a little on the small side. If you can maximize your screen.
There we go. Is that a lot better? Are we still seeing Amit there, or?
We still see him off to the right, and then your drive.
Okay, then we got to share a new screen, which is this one. So it's going to take its time as we.
There it is.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
So this is Amit Ambigankar. He is my coach, my business mentor, taught me a lot about business. And I value him for everything he's taught myself and Curtis. He's helped us come a long way. He's helped us build this business that you guys are learning about. But also he believes in over delivery. And that's what I value the most about him. When he teaches a class, which he schedules for 12 weeks, it usually ends up being like 20 weeks because he ends up seeing a lesson that, oh, no, you guys really need to learn this before we move on. So he'll take a whole nother week and throw in a lesson plan right in there so that we can learn that concept before moving on. And then, of course, he's taught us a lot about the benefits and offering bonuses and rewards so that people feel value in what your offer is. Because look, we're all in this to make an offer. We're all trying to earn for our service, right? That's part of a business. But he's talked about the value exchange and then over delivering by giving more bonuses, more rewards, more things that are really valuable to your clients. You're changing their concept. You're changing their belief in the value of the service you're offering. So let me see. I guess we're going to have to do this one at a time. And so if we, stop sharing, I guess. So what are your thoughts on Amit while I change and bring up the next nominee?
So what I'm listening to in the messaging that you're sharing about him is the fact that in addition to sharing his teachings and taking you through the lessons, that it's really important to him to have that value that goes above and beyond. And for me, I think that's huge, because I can think about a time, and most people can, where they have bought or purchased something and they either got the value that they paid for, or in some cases, maybe they got the value that was more than what they paid for. And when you can do that as a business owner, as a leader, it just sets the presence that there's more to it. there's more to it than taking the money in, even though we're all in business together to make a profit. So it's people over profit. That's what I get when you speak about Amit.
And that's really what I value the most about him. So I'm proud. I was the one who nominated him, and I'm proud to have him represented as a nominee for the Beacon of Leadership Award. Next, we have Arlene McLaren. You met her at our event. What are your thoughts about her before I say anything about her?
Yes, what I appreciate most about Arlene is that she comes ready to share. She comes ready to share her vision and invites others people to come in and do the same.
Absolutely, I agree. And then so the things, some of the things she talks about it, you know what, it's great for those people who are just starting their journey of development. She talks about manifestation. She talks about goal setting and you know what it takes to achieve your dreams. So again, she represents those newbies, and she loves to host masterminds and make people feel included. So that's why we thought Arlene is a great Beacon of Leadership nominee. So we're proud to put the spotlight on her. So I'll bring up another one. And so has it changed? Is it still Arlene up on the screen? Or
It's still Arlene.
So
So
let
a
me-
little
okay.
bit of a delay.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that this is the way we're gonna have to do it, but we'll move through this one after another and get to know our beacons, because we're really proud of what we put together here. And these people have been joyously walking along with us, sharing the journey with us, and are pleased to have come out and share their value and their expertise. Now, Art Citron is he is an editor and a producer. As you can see behind him in the picture there, that's an Emmy that's over his left shoulder there, or his right shoulder. So he is an Emmy Award winning producer. So he is recognized for that, of course. But what I love the most is he's now taking that knowledge and he's going to start teaching it. He's building a film academy for people who want to learn how to bring this expertise to their own platform. Start maybe producing films and producing productive content. So I'm looking forward to learning what he has to offer there, what this film academy is all about, and putting it into our own business and seeing what comes of that. Because I have grand designs for you know, some sort of production involving many of our beacons and representing people through an educational platform. So I'm looking forward to that and what might become of that. But I've got to learn more about film production and that sort of thing. What did you like about Art, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, yeah. What I was most impressed about, I guess, is his boldness in saying that I teach and I do it my way, my rules, my way. I take the best out of the things that I've learned about and seen. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to do it someone else's way. It's my way. And so to me, that's most inspiring, because when you can put your own stamp on something and you can be so convicted with the value, that thing that you're bringing and sharing with the world, that's really important. And he does it all without needing any kind of external validation, I believe.
Yeah, he's even said, you know, as far as his production work, like he's hired to you know, for certain criteria, to present certain criteria, but he'll take that production or the content that he has and, you know, create it according to his own vision. Because usually, and he likes to say, look, I see it differently, I see it in a different way. And most often they're accepting of what I bring to the table, because it, you know, brings a unique perspective, in his unique perspective. So next we have Cora Cristobal. Again, another one of my mentees. This woman has been very supportive of me and Curtis through our journey. You met her. She's been on our podcasts. First of all, she empowers women. That's been her role for the last 5 years that she's been the founder of Toronto Women's Club. And then, like I said, or like she told us on the nominee presentation, that she's become global. You know what I mean? She started in Toronto. That was her only vision at the time, was to help women in Toronto. But she's been represented in India and many other countries in the Philippines, and so she's created a global presence as far as empowering women, and she's now expanding her horizons. What are your words on Cora?
The word that comes to mind on Cora is resilient. She's a resilient warrior woman. That's the first thing I thought of when she was speaking to us on the podcast. I thought, wow, this woman, she just has come in, started something at the grassroots and just expanded it, like you said, globally. So I thought that's so empowering, so setting the stage for others to come. I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm. And you know, if people have been in our community, in our circle of influence long enough, they've learned from Cora. They've learned about her story. And we're not going to talk about her story today, but it really is an empowering story for women because she's done it as a single mom. You know what I mean? She had no choice but to be able to support her family. And she took that on herself and has become quite a successful woman herself, and then empowering others to do the same. So let's see who else we can bring up here. I'm just going to keep moving through the list. Sorry, I'm only working on one monitor. I did buy a computer with two monitors, but I've only got one operational. So I'm having to flip between screens, and so it's going to take us a moment to get each one brought up and present them. So today you saw we did a broadcast with Gary Gradley. I again represented him as a Beacon nominee in our interview today because he has a very special thing that he's trying to offer people. In 2023, he's talking about helping people to find some clarity and some certainty in uncertain times. And we certainly are in uncertain times, and I needed to be available to promote this to people out there where in 2023, where we've been going through some tough times these last 2 to 3 years. Well, basically 2 years. It's been almost, we're approaching 2 years of turmoil that we've had to learn and adapt. And you know, people are out of jobs, people are losing their homes, people are losing, you know, whatever, family members. So, you know, coming out of these uncertain times, here's a way to find some clarity and define your purpose. And that's what Gary is really a passion and purpose coach is what I like to describe him as. So you've met Gary. What do you think of Gary?
Yes, I find that Gary brings a sense of calmness. So in addition to the clarity, he creates this space for the calm to come through. And because you're right, the amount of uncertainty that we've gone through in the world, it's been exponential, right? And so we need people like Gary to bring that calm, to help us find that clarity and to get comfortable with the uncertainty that we have, because uncertainty isn't always bad. It just means we don't know. And so that's where it gets uncomfortable, but it's having that faith-based mindset that everything's going to be where it needs to go. And we have help in getting there.
Absolutely. And we're certainly in a space where, you know, that uncertainty is an opportunity for us to grow and move forward out of it. And that's the way we have to see it too, is, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen from here, but I know I need to do something about it. And Gary's certainly helped to change that for people. So now we're going to get into a few people who you have brought to the table. And I love this lady. She's doing great work. And she's creating a global awareness presence. So tell us a little bit about Halima and why she's qualified as a beacon of leadership.
Yes, Halima is someone who, when she comes into a community, she's not that person that's just going to sit back and go with the flow. She's going to be that person that's going to be evaluating and like looking to see what other perspectives are in the room. And you know, she's going to share those with us. Mm-hmm. She's going to share those with the community. She's going to speak to things that she sees. And she really does shine a light on different ways of viewing things. And when that can happen in a community and you can do it in a respectful way, it just really opens the door for understanding. It opens the way for innovation. It does a lot of things. And so I really value and admire someone that's willing to bring things up for discussion and feel comfortable doing that. I think that's so important because a lot of times, I'm going to say this as a woman, you don't always want to bring things up and be that squeaky wheel, but there's times where it makes sense that you respectfully bring something up and that you would share it. And I think that's really important to be able to have your own voice and know that you can speak it and that you're not necessarily going to break anything. If anything gets broken, maybe, it needed to be broken apart because that opens up the space for discussion. And that's
Mhm,
how we really learn is through those
mhm.
discussions.
And you know what I admire is, like you said, she's got a voice. She knows how to use it. Whereas some women in the Eastern world are treated as, non-entities, right? Their voice is not respected. She spoke up about how she wears, is it a hijab, is it called? Is you can see the
Yes.
headwear she's wearing. But because people have disrespected her for wearing a hijab. But you know what? Here's a woman who she, as with her global presence that she's trying to create, that she wants to raise the voices of people out there and help them to do some greater work through their activism and through the projects that they want to create. I respect her for having a voice. She's certainly been using it here in our community, right? So, and I totally respect her for that. And I respect anyone who has the fortitude, the gumption to speak up, because there are many people who they can't have a voice. And so, I respect her completely for that. And I would recognize her as a shining example in that manner. So we'll stop sharing here. It's going to take me a moment because I was talking about her so much. I was excited to talk about her. I didn't get to bring up the next.
I think you're doing a great job there, by the way.
Well, thank you. Yeah, try to manage between and here's another one of your nominees, by the way. So back to share screen, because the next one is Irina Cregan. Where did her picture go? I know I downloaded it. My apologies. So tell us a little bit about Irina Cregan while I bring up her picture.
Yes, Irina is someone that I've met through a community, and we met, and she actually became one of my mentees. And one of the things that we've been doing on our journey is really exploring what it is that we want, that thing that we most want to do. And she's known for
I think maybe I need to close some of these screens. Keep talking. Sorry about that.
She's known for quite a while that she really has a passion for empowering tomorrow's youth. And she thinks about the things that she learned about leadership in her journey, and the things that the students could be doing now, the young people, to prepare themselves for the workforce. And we got a chance to be able to do some of that work together. And the impact that we were able to make in just under an hour was huge. It was huge. We got to see some students speaking their voices, and they were bringing up things in a vulnerable way. And I'm thinking, gosh, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. If you go back to my, 12 or 13-year-old self, probably not. And here these students are. And so we were able to have a nice exchange, a conversation where we could learn what they most cared about and the things that they either were working on or the things that they were concerned about. And so it was nice to have that dialogue. So that is definitely her purpose. Her passion is helping these youth to step into their leadership journeys.
And I apologize that I cannot seem to bring up her photo. Everyone else's has come up. Let me see because I do want to represent her. Look, we've talked up there.
Give it a minute.
Yeah, it's because I had too many pictures open.
There she is. You've got it.
So, and that's Irene. First of all, beautiful lady. She has such a personality, such a heart that I've seen from her. And I love that she wants to, help our youth to step forward, step up, and really become the creators that they were meant to be. I love Whitney Houston's words, who says the children are the future. That's absolutely true. We need to be able to empower our youth to take on the world. So love what she's doing and looking forward to seeing more of that. She certainly is deserving of this Beacon accolade. So again, it'll take me a moment because it took me so much time to get Irina's up. I didn't have a chance to bring up the next ones, but I'm sure we will get through it. We will talk about every one of our beacons we've met so far. This is Jim Hetherington. He's been a big influence to me in my, my growth, my understanding of people. He is a relationship expert. He is a pastor and a deacon in his church for 30 plus years. He's, counseled people on their relationships. He's helped officiate many weddings and renewal of vows, that sort of thing. But so he's helped keep people together. But not only does he help counsel people on their intimate relations, but he also talks about business relations and our ability to communicate and work well with other people. Because that's what it's all about, is being able to communicate your thoughts and your vision in a respectful manner and helping to helping other people see your point of view is always always a valued treasure and inspiration. So that's Jim. What are your thoughts on Jim? You got to meet him a couple times. So what do you think of Jim?
Yes, I'm thinking that anyone that has the opportunity to teach people how to become effective communicators so that they can improve their relationships, they've got my vote of approval right there. Those are the two things right there that feed to one another. And so you can't have one without the other. And so someone that would be stepping into that work to lead that, it's inspiring.
For sure. And then so next we have LaTroy Woods. You and I both know LaTroy, so I'll let you speak on your thoughts about him first.
Yes, so LaTroy is somebody that when he comes into the conversation, he's that person in the room that's going to really stop and listen to you. And he's going to invite and ask those really insightful opening questions to really get at who the people are in the room and what they feel and think about things. That's what I think of when I'm in his presence. We had a chance to do an interview together, and that's exactly what happened. He really opened up the dialogue and invited me to step in and to share some things, and he was willing to do the same. And so he brings about that vulnerability piece, I believe, that being able to have that conversation and really go below the surface, because that's not easy work to go below the surface. You got to feel like the person that's sitting across from you or in your presence, that you have that safety and are able to do that. And he really creates that safe space and asks those really deep questions that open the mind. And every time I get to meet with him, it's always a treat.
Absolutely. I totally agree. He asks those profound questions of you. He asks you a deeply resonating question that you can't help but look deeper into yourself. You know what? You may have thought you had answers, but his question, you're like, oh, well, I hadn't quite thought about that, but you know what I mean? And then you go into some deeper level of yourself. So you learn about yourself. He's a great guy to take masterminds with and have those deep, intimate one-on-one sessions with. So LaTroy is certainly representative of what we're talking about as a beacon of leadership. So let's move on. And our next nominee is Joe Grow. And for whatever reason, he's not coming up. But Joe Grow is another religious follower, a devout Christian, as we like to say. And so why is Joe not coming up? His passion is about helping people find themselves, helping people believe in themselves. He teaches about compassion and understanding and helping people love themselves, which, I mean, you might think that's a given, but in many circumstances, people don't love themselves. They're missing something. I don't know why I'm not being able to bring up Joe. They're missing something about that deep, intense feeling that they have for themselves. Let's try this one more time because I would love to show Joe's picture. I would love to have everybody represented here today. There we go. So this is Joe Grow. You've met him. You've heard my words on him. What are your thoughts about Joe?
Yes, I appreciate that he does the advocacy work. And so he's in some groups where he gets to do that. And so his presence, I'm sure, is very valued again, to have that calming presence, to have that person that is helping people to love themselves, because I agree with you. That one's not an easy one to do by any shape or form, because it requires you to go deep within, and means you got to look at look at yourself from deep within. You get to explore that. And so a person that can take people through the exploration, I think that's what the world needs. I think that being able to go beneath the surface to really love who you are and appreciate what you bring into the world. Sometimes, you think that should be a given and it should be easy, but for a lot of people, it's not. And it takes that guide of someone that has that patience and willingness to do that type of work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Joe has been, working in his own church for many years. His situation is changing in that he's not able to teach in his church anymore. So he's looking for that next opportunity. And I think he'll be very influential in our community. So I felt that Joe needed to be a nominee with Beacon of Leadership. Another one, and this is one somebody, again, you brought to the table. So Melissa Marti, tell us a little bit about her.
Yes, I actually met Melissa out on Instagram, and she is such an inspiring woman, and she hasn't had it easy by any stretch of the word. And through her authorship, through her books, she's able to express the things that we don't always get to say, the things that are hard, the things about loving yourself, the struggles, the challenges, the needing and wanting validation externally. And so she's written several books that really take a person through that journey. And when you can put yourself in another person's path, you may not have experienced it in the way that they have, but you build a compassion for that. And I just love being in her presence. We've done some podcasting episodes before. And so she just really, for me, I told her with each and every book, I said, I've given those books to women, and she's made an impact on them. And so, the advocacy work, it's one of the most rewarding when you can impact someone, but it's the hardest to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it's so hard to keep going is because a lot of times people will ask a person, well, how can I support you? Right. And so sometimes people aren't willing to put that financial support in there, because when you write a book and produce it, it costs money to do that. When you produce any business, it takes money to do that. And so, that's the best way you could support someone like Melissa, someone like any of our beacons, is to, not only show up with the support as being a cheerleader or an advocate for their work, but sometimes it's about putting forward that investment or contribution. And I know that, I'm bringing up money here. I kind of can't, because I think that's important for people to know that it's okay as a business owner, an entrepreneur, advocate, that, it takes money to put all of these great works into motion. Mm-hmm. and that's one of the biggest ways that people can become supporters.
Mm-hmm. And knowing what to invest in is also the mm-hmm. biggest thing for a business owner, for anybody looking to get into solopreneurship, which, let's face it, that's what the coaches, authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, that's what that's usually where they're going to start out. For me, it's always been about building a business rather than a solopreneurship. I could be a coach, you know what I mean? I could do the one-on-one coaching. I could have just focused on that and, built my business around that. But I've always felt that I'm not the coach that everyone needs, but there are so many people that we're connected to who would be of service to somebody I know. And that's where this business has come from, is that uniting and connecting these people gives us the opportunity to spread the word greater. It builds that larger shining light that you talk about, us being a beacon together. You know what I mean? We're a greater force together. And that really has been my focus in building a business is, building a community that we're all involved in and all teaching from this platform. And I see these people doing great work. Now with Melissa, look, I'm a follower of Brene Brown, and you know what? She talks and teaches about vulnerability and being able to open up to people. And sometimes just sharing your story allows people the opportunity to feel more comfortable in their own skin, to feel like, you know what, there's somebody out there going through what I'm going through, and I'm glad they're able to share that because that makes me feel a little bit more powerful or comfortable in who I am. So totally, she is a shining light, that's for sure. So let's see who we can bring up next. We got to stop sharing. And then we will look at Mark Maynard. Mark is a partner of Latroy in that they created together Internal Awakening. But we wanted to represent them each as individuals because they each have their unique aspects to themselves that they can help people out there in different ways. Look, they're a powerful force together. Internal Awakening has helped me a lot with my growth and my understanding of myself. But Mark, he likes to, bring the scientific side to the spiritual world. You know what I mean? He believes in spiritual being and spiritual growth. He's very much a student of Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey. In fact, he's trained by the Brave Thinking Institute. So he has that spiritual aspect. In fact, one of the greatest gifts Mark gave me was teaching me about the Hermetic principles and the seven Hermetic principles that, basically are the laws of the universe, that if we can learn to utilize these laws, we can build that successful life that we're all looking for. So I notice this is taking a lot more than the half an hour that we had originally planned on, but I want to represent these people and let people know that this is what qualifies as a beacon, and each one of the people that we're bringing forth are qualified as beacons. We do have about 4 or 5 more to go through, so hopefully we'll get through them in about 10 minutes if that's okay. Next, we have Stacy Cooper. She is a chiropractor, nutritionist. She has a cookbook on healthy living, healthy lifestyles without that are good for diabetics and stuff like that. So she is a promoter of living a balanced life. Not that work-life balance that everybody talks about, but having a balanced life and having all of the aspects, some of the things we talk about, which the body, mind, and soul in alignment to help build that better life. Do you have any thoughts on Stacy while I bring up the next?
Yes, I had a chance to meet Stacy earlier on in the year, and I did like that she does speak to the holistic approach. And you're definitely right about the whole work-life balance. I don't think that that's a thing really. It's more about the holistic mind, body, soul, and you're one person, not trying to compartmentalize between two spaces. And anytime anyone, for me, talks about the work-life balance, I'm thinking, no, it's the holistic balance that you're looking for, being that same person in both of those spaces.
Absolutely, without a doubt, and that's really what it's about. But and then our next nominee, the Beacon nominee, I'm very excited to present this woman. She is a woman who grew up learned through adulthood that she was on the Asperger's spectrum. And so now she is also a Brave Thinking Institute certified coach. Grew up and was involved with me within Internal Awakening. But she has such a powerful thing she's working on. She wants to help empower Aspie women because, look, we as a society look down on people with autism or on the spectrum, as we refer. But these are people who can live prominent, capable lives. But we don't believe they can because they're different than us. So she wants to help empower Aspie women, is what she calls them. But she has this concept that I'm looking forward to being able to present through this community, is called Bridge Builders, where she wants to reach out to people in powerful positions, the corporate executives, the CEOs, the lawyers, the people who are able to help guide these people who are on the spectrum, to find jobs that are suitable to them, that they can, lead a high-powered executive job because they are capable in certain areas, but they're overlooked because of their what we see as an affliction, right? And it's not an affliction. In many ways, I know people on the spectrum, and in many ways it's a bonus or a gift because they're able to see things from a different perspective that the average person is able to see it. Any thoughts on Suzanne?
Oh, yes, the woman's very inspiring. I'm just listening to her talk with such passion about the work that she's doing. And, she's lived this journey. So she's taking her lived experience and she doesn't let anyone tell her she can't do something.
Yes.
she's going to go out there and prove you wrong. And so I like that passion there, and really to be able to connect people to people that can make the decisions, the decision makers. And that is so like spot on for making this work go miles, because when she can go to those executives, those people that make those decisions and make a case for why these individuals would be well served in their corporation, their organization, and be able to paint that pathway. I mean, imagine that. I mean, let's talk about people being capable. Let's not talk about what people can't do. Let's talk about what people can do. And you're right. Different strengths can surface when we looked for like diverse situations, and so bringing that diversity in the inclusion and being able to figure out where the people can best align. I mean, that's really great, exciting work, and I'm behind her. That's for sure. Every time she talks, I get excited about hearing what she's doing.
Absolutely, and I'm just so awed by her perseverance and her willingness to continue to bring this to people's attention. So absolutely, we're looking forward to the amazing things she can do here in our community as a Beacon nominee. And then Tammy Williams. We have two more, Tammy and another one. Tammy Williams, I love, first of all, you see her shining, smiling face. She's a very happy person. She's very much a cheerleader in that she helps support people. That's the role she plays right now. She helps people to believe in themselves, to believe that they can do it, they can achieve. And she's really about goal setting and imagining the possibilities. I loved when she talked about her vision board and the things she plans to create this year. These are things that people just take for granted and are really a way to grow and develop. So Tammy, again, I do feel she's adequate as a Beacon nominee. So do you have any thoughts on Tammy? And I'll bring up our last nominee.
Yes. I believe that Tammy has that warming presence about her. And you're right. She is that person on the sidelines cheering you on. And you can feel that the moment you're in a space with her. She really makes everyone inspired around her to do whatever it is that they're going to do. And she's going to support you 100% and then some.
Absolutely. And we need people like that. We need motivation and inspiration. And she certainly brings that to the table. And then finally, we have Wilma David. You see it says Wilma A. David, and I swear the A stands for angel. She certainly brings a lot of spirituality to the table. She is an inspiration. She is somebody who helps you see things from a holistic perspective. She was actually a pharmaceutical engineer, and now she helps people to find a way to live medication free. You know what I mean? So she reaches into people, reads their aura. She does timeline therapy, Akashic readings. She really gets to know help people and help to remove blockages in their aura. Her meditations are elevating is the only thing I can say. You really, when you've had one of her meditations in which, as far as she invokes angels in her meditations, and they are just spiritually lifting. So I love this lady, and looking forward to all the great work that she may do in our community. You just recently met her, I believe. And what are your thoughts of Wilma?
I did, and I'm listening to all the things she's speaking about, and the whole idea about being able to work on illnesses without having the medication part of it. I think that there's a lot to be said for that, the power of prayer. And actually, I would love to attend and be a part of one of her meditations to go through that experience.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I'm planning on doing as part of getting to know her in this community is to attend one of those sessions to find out firsthand what everyone's been talking about.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's uplifting. So you need to be part of that. And I'm looking forward to her bringing that to the table here in the Beacon of Leadership community. So we have one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that's our nomination process. So we are Beacon of Leadership, and we want you to go out there and nominate an authority. Bring somebody else into this community. You've just met 16 people who are ideally represented and qualified as beacons of leadership. So we want to know who those beacons are. We know many of them. We've recommended many of them ourselves, but we wanted you to go out and recognize those beacons and let us know who they are. So you can go to our website and nominate an authority, and you'll actually get a free ticket for our event, which is happening January 21st, 2023, where we're going to bring these award winners to you and induct them into our community so that they'll be teaching from our community over the next year. So a beacon is a guiding light who serves people from steering on the wrong path. It's helping lead people out of the darkness. And so a beacon of leadership is somebody who's chosen the path of empowerment. They're leaders inspiring and teaching leaders to walk the path of their own destiny. So we want to honor them and recognize them within our community. So we've created this nomination form, and we want you to go out there and nominate your favorite authority. And this is the form to do so. We'll ask for certain things: the nominee's name, their email address, social media platform. We want to find the place to find them on the web so that we can learn more about them and discern whether they are qualified. Look, we take your recommendations, of course, but we want to check for ourselves and see whether this is a person who is deserving of the Beacon Award. So, and then of course, what is their experience level? What is it they're doing out there in the world? We would like for you to put a video forth about their qualifications. So what are your thoughts on them? Please have that video prepared in advance before you come to fill out this form. And then we want a little bit about what qualifies them. What is their expertise? What is their commitment to serving people? How has their experience prepared them for service as a beacon? And why do you believe they'd be an effective ambassador for this role? And then why do you think this is a great opportunity for them at this time? So please go to our website, www.beaconofleadership.com. Please visit us. Again, it's right there, www.beaconofleadership.com, where you can nominate your favorite authority. And then, of course, we give you a ticket so you can join us at the Beacon Awards on January 21st, 2023. Linda, that's my thoughts for today and how I wanted to represent. Do you have anything to add before we part with people today?
Yes, I actually have one other thing to add. In addition to being able to nominate your favorite authority for the Beacon Award, maybe you are that beacon and you can nominate yourself. And so we actually on our website have a spot where you can nominate yourself and you can share a video of why you think you're deserving of the award and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing out in the world, and why it's important to be recognized today for the work that you're doing. And there's no shame in that at all. We would love it if we'd have some people come forward and nominate themselves, because between the authority nominations and the self nominations, that's how we're building our community.
Mhm. And we're looking to learn, who are those thought leaders out there? Who are those people who are deserving of this accolade, who are in a position to be recognized for the work they do. So that's really why we've offered the nomination of a favorite authority, your coach, author, speaker, an entrepreneur who's doing good work. If somebody's out there volunteering, we want to know about it. And then again, like we say, there's no shame in tooting your own horn. Maybe you feel you're deserving of recognition at this point, and we wanted people to be able to let us know about that. So that's exactly what Linda's mentioning there, is that there's plenty of opportunity for you to be recognized, and that's what we're offering here. So thank you for that as well, Linda. So again, I'm RJ Horner, beacon of life and leadership, along with, we are not joined with Curtis Young, beacon of positivity, but I am here with
Linda Tilson, beacon of team empowerment.
And we are your beacon of leadership team. And so we're excited to present this to you. We hope you've enjoyed what we're putting together. We've talked about our nominees tonight. Hopefully we're going to have many more to offer you. But again, the idea is you're going to get to meet many of them who have received this award on January 21st, 2023. In fact, we're putting on a whole weekend about it, January 20th to the 22nd, 2023. But those, I mean, you have to be a VIP. So, if you want to join us for the entire weekend, where we're going to have a networking and a keynote speaker, and then a mastermind on Sunday, you want to be a part of this entire weekend, there is VIP upgrades for you to join us for that. So I just wanted to mention that before we leave today. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great night, and we will see you soon in the Beacon of Leadership.